What's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're going to be taking a look at yet another Ultra Monster 500 series, Zetton. Zetton first appeared in the final episode of the first series of Ultraman, episode 39, Farewell Ultraman. Of course, he is always famously known for being the final monster that Ultraman fights, and of course being one of his most strongest, since he literally kills Ultraman at the end of the episode. Then again, Zafi, kind of helps Ultraman out, and then, they kill him and stuff. But of course, Zetton is a very, very unique character. I mean, he is one of the most interesting characters throughout the series. He does appear on and off throughout. I don't remember exactly when was the last time he appeared in the series. I want to say Ultraman Geed, but technically he wasn't really in it. But, whatever's the case, Zetton is of course one of the most popular monsters throughout the series, and it's not hard to see why. One of the most weirdest and oddest thing about this character is that a lot of people say that he's actually half alien, half dinosaur. Like like an alien dinosaur. Oh no, man, do you guys see it? I don't. But surprisingly, that's what the character is famous for. I mean, he's like an alien dinosaur, and then he comes out to Earth and he wants to take over everything and kill Ultraman. That's a darn good kaiju right there. Anyway, let's take a look at the tag. As always, we always get like a nice little picture here. You got Zetton. Here, he is number 3, of course. Nothing in the inside, and you got the back part is always the same. Just want to pull out the 2 tags right here, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3. Sadly, I do not have 4, but oh well. Anyway, yep, same thing, same stuff in the back. Everything else inside is the same. And of course, without further ado, let's get right to the figure. Now, of course, when it usually comes to these type of figures, they do have very nice and decent paint jobs. Everything with Zetton is pretty good for the most part. Now, this is more my fault than anyone else, but mine's does have a little bit, it's like some smudges. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's only because he does fall off my shelf a lot, so yeah, you do got that going. But of course, as you can see in the front, it looks nice, but you're probably thinking, isn't this, his face and his chest, isn't that supposed to be like a yellow? Because funny enough, it's not really supposed to be painted orange. I mean, even when you look at his tag, I don't know if you could tell because of my camera quality, but it does kind of glow. And if you watch the show, it's supposed to be yellow. I'm not exactly sure why they painted it orange. I mean, to be fair, in the show Return of Ultraman, Zetton, he does have this orange instead of yellow, so I guess it's like kind of an homage, I guess? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think in the show Ultraman Max, I think his chest is supposed to be orange like that. I'm not really too sure. I haven't really seen too much of Ultraman Max, so I do apologize for that. But of course, it's not really a big deal. I mean, everything else about the figure is pretty great, really. The other thing I do kind of want to mention is that in the back here, you see like these little spots. They're supposed to be painted like in a silver color, but they left it unpainted. I mean, I honestly don't really find it much of a problem. It's kind of a small detail. You don't really notice it too much. I just thought I'd kind of mention that, But besides that, I like the figure. This is actually the first monster that I got. I mean, Zetton, he's just, I don't know. He has such a weird and intriguing design. It's like kind of lazy, but it's really interesting at the same time. I just want to keep looking at it a little bit more. If only I had a better camera. He also got like a bit of a hole there too. I don't know. That's so the suit actor can kind of look. I don't know. This is some pretty interesting stuff, man. I just gotta say. I know you can't really see it too much. He's got like a little slot thing kind of going on there too. Got like a little hole in his finger. He'd be shooting some stuff. Anyway, of course, I mean, let's take a look at the articulation real quick right here. Whoops. Now, the articulation on this guy, it's pretty limited. He only has just the arms, only the arms move. As you can see, they move all the way. His head, on the other hand, does not move, neither does his waist. But his waist looks like you can move it, but you really can't. Now, in my last toy review, let me pull out Gamora. As I mentioned that for some reason, Bandai, they do like this weird thing where in some of the figures, the waist is it's like glued on. As you can see here, Gamora, he's not, you can move his waist without any problems, except that this figure is too tight. I cannot move the waist on that one. This one, because this figure is glued on there, you cannot really move, so he does not have any waist articulation, which, I'm not complaining. I just thought I mentioned that, because you will see that a lot throughout the line. Of course, before I end the video, let's do a comparison. Here he is compared to Ultraman. Now, sure, the thing with the figures is that he's supposed to be a little bigger, but he's actually a pretty good size. He's like almost the same height. I mean, almost. I mean, it's still pretty good throughout. I mean, you can still, like, you can still do stuff with this, I think he's a pretty decent size. I'm not complaining, Yep. And and just for shits and giggles, let's pull out a Scythe Zetton. Yeah, this version is supposed to be like a sort of updated version of Zetton. As you can see, they kind of kept the nice, yellow color with them. Wow, what a big difference though. But god damn, he lost a lot of weight. Look at that. Look at this chubby boy. Chubby boy. You guys ever seen those weird commercials with the people, when they talk about how much they lose weight, when they take like some kind of diet, and then they're like, oh, I lost 20 pounds or 38 pounds, you guys ever seen those weight loss commercials? This is basically what happened with Zetton. He's like, oh yeah, I lost all this weight. I mean, but in all seriousness, it's kind of funny that the original Zetton was more chubby, and this one has like a much more like, taller, sort of like better skinny kind of bod, as you can see here. And will I review this figure in the future? Oh, you guys bet I will. And last, but certainly not least, Space Leonardo. I mean, I don't know, why not? You guys know I love Ninja Turtles. I can't help it. God. And of course, that ends our little review with Zetton. Or Zetton, or however he says it. I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that he does talk, but that's like literally the only word he says. He says Zetton. I don't know, that's the sound he makes. Alright. So, of course, I will review more Ultraman figures in the future, but I'm not really sure how, because a lot of these figures I have, how the tags, how they have the numbers. I have a lot of Ultraman figures, but they're all out of order, so I think I'm just gonna suck it up, and I think I'm just gonna start reviewing these figures randomly. So who knows, maybe I might review Antlar, maybe I might review Red King, who knows? Who knows? But what I will be doing is that I am going to start reviewing some Godzilla figures. Of course, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so of course I just have to review a couple of figures. I got a couple of NECA figures, I got a lot of Bandai figures, and those are, the type of figures that I really want to review, and those are the ones that I'm going to be reviewing next. So I'm going to review a Godzilla figure. I'm debating if it's going to be like a Bandai figure or a NECA figure, but of course it's going to be like a little bit of a surprise for my next review. So, of course, until then, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Chubby boy!